love it or not, what I like is I know who put all that together. So if you look at this little picture, that's because I got me a golfing buddy.
The whole purpose of this show is to engage with business owners and be able to answer questions for people that will give them some insight and perspective on how to grow and scale a business. Not only leadership, but real life examples. This is the golden moment. I would do business with you right now.
Hey everybody, it's Brandon Dawson, 10X Owners Live. Josh saw that I started into my pitch and I didn't unmute myself. Just like every time we bring an owner on, they did the same thing. I just wanted to show you that nothing's perfect in life. You just got to roll with the punches. So welcome to our first 10X Owners Live right after GrowthCon and the mastermind, which ended yesterday. So my journey has been vacating the hotel where we had GrowthCon, getting settled back into my house, having dozens of people show up on our doorstep to talk about business, and being prepared for tonight's conversation. So I'm excited to get to speak to each and every one of you. Here's the thing I want to know based on who's on here. Say no if you were not at GrowthCon. Say no if you were not at GrowthCon. No if you were not at GrowthCon. Let's see. There's one, two. Yeah, all right. We got some people. There you go. Virtual is like being there because you know what we did. Look at all these no's. All right, awesome. Hey, listen, we had a remarkable GrowthCon event and a killer mastermind yesterday. So many wonderful, great, amazing people here this weekend. And then we had the mastermind yesterday, which was all purely Q&A. Grant Cardone, Jared Glant, Sherry, Brandon Dawson, Natalie, Pete Vargas, firing off questions. And so that was a great event as well. So, and then I had so many meetings, so many appointments, so many people to talk to, so much going on. And so I talked to Grant when he jumped on the plane to head out to Malibu. He's trying to get the house done. He's also got a little private deal we're doing. You know, we announced, if you weren't there, we announced 4 new shows that we're launching. And what you're going to find out is there's another 4 coming. And so we've been working on this. I don't know. He put me to work on it 9 months ago. So we finished it before GrowthCon, enough time to get the trailers going and get some of the shows going. And I'm really freaking excited that we're going to be an agency producing great content, great TV shows. I see some phenomenal 10X America hats on. If you guys weren't there at GrowthCon, it was so cool to open the show up with the big guy. You know, anytime you can put a past president, anytime you can get a past president in your center of influence, the knowledge, the information, the experience, just the journey. I don't care if you like them or not, man. You got to respect the fact that is got to be one hell of a journey. And if you respect that, then you realize how big a deal that is. Being able to become president of the free country. And love it or not, what I like is I know who put all that together. So if you look at this little picture, that's because I got me a golfing buddy. Now, what I didn't like is they teamed up to beat my ass out of some money. I don't think that's fair, but they are both better than I am. So you got to give them credit. So look, it was fun. Stormy, I met with Stormy today. We're working on some programs with Stormy. She was remarkable. obviously the big boss, and what he's endured and what he's been able to do is remarkable. Story, unbelievable. Freaking love Story. Having the chairman of the chairmans from Goldman Sachs at that event was incredible. If you miss this, you miss some of the brightest, most successful, most connected people in the world. So, look, I get asked all the time, like, hey, Cardone Ventures, can you guys help me in the restaurant business? We had the world's largest restaurateur there. Come on, babies. Don't you know that we know people in every single industry at scale? At scale, not one or two of anything, but at scale. Those are the people we spend time with. So the reason we bring them out so you can meet them is to show you that we work with people like that. Like that's who we're communicating with. People that have massive data, people that have access to what success looks like, because we need to bring that to each and every one of you guys so that we can help you get bigger, better, more profitable, impact the world, do the kind of things that you guys want to do. So I'm really super excited that we made it through GrowthCon. A lot of logistics. You can imagine what it's like having ex-president of the country show up with their own team that takes control of your security and starts dictating how everything's going to work, like at the last second. So you guys understand, like the logistics of something like that are massive, but to make it through it and have so many remarkable people there and have so much success and get to see everybody. Thank God we're moving out of COVID. I was just so excited to get to see all those human beings in real life. So we had 15,000 people virtual. So the total show was almost 20,000 people. Let's see. We got all you guys. So we got some questions. Let's just fire off some questions. Let's just work left to right. So we got Sam on here. Sam, how you doing, man? Somebody unmute Sam.
I got it. Hey, how are you, man?
Good, brother. How are you?
Good. Hey, I was actually hoping to get to talk to you again. I stopped you in the lobby right after everything was over about our AR and one of our clients being 6 months behind. I don't know if you remember. And I was wanting to see if you had any advice on what to do with them.
Yeah, call them. Say, man, look, we can't, like you can't run your business if people paying you are 6 months behind. Remember when the Goldman Sachs guy was talking about when everybody tightens up and nobody pays each other?
Yep.
Go to that story and say, I was sitting there listening to the chairman of Goldman Sachs talking about what causes a true crisis. A true crisis is when people that owe money aren't paying their bills.
Totally.
Because because that means people aren't paying you. You're not paying me. It puts me where I can't pay, and we all lose. So what do I need to do to help you?
Totally.
I'm part of a company that teaches cash flow and all these things. How much do they owe you?
About 400,000.
I tell them, look, I'll pay the $5,000. Have you come to Finance Essentials with me, with the company that's been helping me get my money right.
Okay.
Because I don't want to be mad at you. I want to do more business with you, but obviously someone needs to help you. And I needed it.
Totally.
Let me help you.
Totally. And we still have workers there working for them. Would you be like, hey, look, like we're going to have to remove our
I say,
workers.
look, dude, this has got to get resolved right now, or I got to pull my team off.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Good to see you, bud.
Good to see y'all.
Let's see. Dr. Jason. Let's bring Dr. Jason up.
Hey, how you doing, Brandon?
Great. How are you doing?
Doing well, thank you. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to ask a question here. I'm actually in the conversions business. I convert hotels to apartments, and so I'm on the contractor side. So my business partner is a general contractor, and I basically drum up the business. And so we've been doing very well right now. We just at the conference actually we landed a new opportunity, which is the biggest project we have, which is it's 800 rooms in Maryland. And so right now we have a total of about $120 million of properties under our management to do these conversions. We're looking to jump into basically buying the buildings ourselves and doing these projects. And so we're trying to figure out the best way to market ourselves to some of these investment funds, real estate investment funds, to get the capital to basically do the same project ourselves, owning the buildings. What do we do?
Well, I think you should go back and do the before and after of some of your projects and say, hey, before, when we were hired, this was worth such and such. After, here's what it became worth. And you extend your storyline to say, we've done enough of these now and created so much value for so many people. We've decided to integrate it into our investor group. We're now opening for investors so that we can get all ends of the value chain. And here's the last 5 deals we've done to show that we know how much value we can add. And then you can go raise money on it because you have credibility and you're doing the work. So most people don't want to do the work. That's the issue. They want to put the money in, have the money work for them, but they don't want to do the work. So once you have the experience, once you're a little bit of an authority on it, you got 3 to 5 examples of your last deals. You can show people the before and after, and then the economic before and after, and then you can invite them. Hey, instead of us doing it for third parties, how would you like to get a, in this particular last 3 cases, it would have been a, 15% or 18% or a 12% return on your money. And they would have cycled through and had your returns within, 12, 24, 36 months, whatever the story is. But the point is, you can bring that to the marketplace and say, so we have an alternative for those that want to participate as both investors and clients. We can do this together. Otherwise, we're going to keep doing it for third parties.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And if you have any suggestions on who I should connect with internally to help us build our story.
Are you in our program?
I was at the conference, and so it was the first conference I've been to.
Yeah, so that package we put together teaches you how to go out and pitch that. It teaches you how to go build the business model for it. That's why we put that package together. So when you asked about me helping you reach out to people, that's what that program's for, is to help you figure out how to do it.
Awesome.
So all you need to do is say yes. And then Josh is on here and he'll get you squared away and you can get enrolled in the program. Because see, what Pete Vargas does is he takes whatever framework and he teaches you how to pitch it. What I do is I teach you how to put the structure in place, what people you need to be in place, what things need to be in place in order to have a valid pitch that you can follow through on.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Let's see. Let's go to Jackie. Hey, Jackie.
Hello, Brandon. How are you this evening?
Fabulous. Thank you.
I have a quick question. I was reading some of Maxwell's work on leadership. And an interesting question that I had on his work is he was talking about making the right decisions at the right time. You can be a good leader. You can make bad decisions at the right time. You can make great decisions at the wrong time. Do you have a litmus test or a filter when you're making decisions inside CV?
100%. 100%. Revenue per employee. Are we moving up or down? And are the things that we're going to add to what we're doing adding value as a connected business, or is it distracting and confusing? And then are the team members that we have doing certain things, are they confused or are they aligned? Can they articulate the bigger picture? Do they understand? And then from there, if someone's like, I got an idea, we could blah, 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 blah. I'm like, great. Walk me through how that's part of our connected business. If they're like, oh, well, I just thought it was a good idea. And then they're not thinking strategically. So, if you ask the right questions, quality of your questions will always determine the quality of your results because of what John said. Mm-hmm. And to make that even more difficult, if you're under pressure, extreme pressure, those decision-making initiatives are even harder because high emotion is low intelligence.
Absolutely. So putting this into, you always talk context, contrast. So when you came up with the model for Audigy as an example, that had never been done before, right? So when you were putting those filters on creating Audigy, where you were going into a space that was so brand new, I can get the ARE being part of the picture. I can definitely understand, does the team understand it concisely and articulately? But how did you apply that just out of curiosity, if you don't mind sharing, but how did you apply that to creating something brand new, something that had
Yeah,
never
well,
been
so
done?
context, contrast. So I had acquired 108 businesses and everyone told me to pound sand on anything I needed them to do to fix the business. Versus the franchisees took what I built and became a lot more profitable. So there's the context, like the stuff I created worked. The contrast is, why did it work for those that grabbed it and ran with it? And the ones that I bought would tell me to pound sand. So then what if I could create a business where everybody grabbed it and ran with it because I didn't give them a reason to tell me to pound sand? So I had the context and I had the contrast. Now I just needed the innovative model.
Thank you.
So that's important. Like I had that. That's why I did it.
Yeah, thank you. I was just interested to hear what your opinion was on that particular leadership model that he had. Thank you.
Yeah, I think he's dead on. You know, and that's why we platform businesses, because when people are at the right moment, make the bad decision, that's worse than being in the wrong moment, making a good decision. Because at least you're like, you can at least say, you know, I was in a shit situation and I plowed through it, figured it out. I persevered. But when you're in an optimal situation and you jack it up because you're not talking to the right people or asking the right questions, that actually hurts worse. And that's exactly where I found myself. So with my first business, I was in the single best driver's seat of the most optimal situation and ultimately jacked it up. So I would tell you, you're gonna sleep better at night if you knew you were a victim of circumstance than if you were the co-creator of it. So it's a great question.
Thank you for your time.
Let's see. Somebody DM'd me here. All right. So let's go to Waldorf Capital Ventures.
Hey, I'm Thatcher Waldorf, and I'm fairly new to the house flipping game. I haven't done a single one yet. And my question was, how do I get people to like trust and want to invest in me when I'm so new and I don't have a portfolio?
Yeah. So what programs have you been through with us?
I haven't been through any of the programs with you. I've watched some of the Cardone multifamily investment stuff to learn how to underwrite, and that's about it. And we're going into the 360 program.
TBT.
Oh, the TBT. Right.
Okay, perfect. Got it. So that's what I was going to tell you is, like, if you don't have a relationship with people, there's no reason for them to trust you, right?
Right.
So like with us, we build rapport and relationship with people that go through our programs, because that's how you connect. It's another John Maxwell law of connection. If you're not spending time with people, and law of respect shows that you respect what they're doing, so you show up, right? You're not just trying to take from it. And I think the same is true for when you talk about your situation, is that like you want to present opportunities to people from the standpoint that, hey, I found something that could be a home run for you. But if you're only going to them because you need money, it's going to feel like you don't respect them and you're not really connected to them. It feels very, what we call transactional. And anytime you're engaged in purely a transactional relationship, it doesn't feel good. For example, I heard a lot of people come up to me and say, at the beginning of GrowthCon, it just felt so pitchy, because Jared went out and was like, here's all the companies we created and here's what we do. And people were looking at that going, oh, this is a pitch. Well, yeah, it's a pitch. It's a pitch on everything we've built in the last 36 months. And the reason we built it is so that we can bring value to every partner we work with and blow your shit up. But that's not the filter in which some people heard it through, because they were expecting a pitch. And if you're expecting it, you're going to validate it, because the job of the subconscious is to prove you right, even if you're wrong. So what you got to do is you got to find relationships with people that you can develop fortified relationships with. And then you got to show them you're willing to work for them so they can get a great return on the work you're going to do. And it comes slow, and it comes over time, and it comes from consistency, and it comes from performing. And then all those things compound. And this is what we teach at the TBT.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Great question, buddy. Love the name though. Shit, anybody with the name Waldorf should be able to raise as much money as you want.
The three of us are in it, mom, father, and son. So we're excited. Thank you so much.
That's awesome. Great name recognition, that's for sure.
Thank you.
Let's see. Kylie.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good, thanks. How about you?
Great.
Nice. How do I decide a net profit multiplier to buy a business when that business has had decreasing revenue over the last 5 years?
Yeah, we just put out how to buy a business with no money. I'd buy that business with no money, because if it's been decreasing for 5 years, either the owner doesn't know what they're doing, the marketplace is broken, or the deliverable of the business is broken. So, you know, I'm not sure why you're buying that business versus starting a new one.
Well, I'm going to tell you why. I'm looking at it.
Sure.
So they've had like a 25 to 35% net profit return on it. 5 years ago, the revenue income from it was like 1.7 million. It's come down to about 1 million, tracking down. I know the reasons why. They've got a couple of key products that were hospitality related. So with COVID and being in New Zealand, that's really dropped off because all our cafes, restaurants, and that have been shut. And also they had a few point of sales products, and the way people are selling has changed a lot more to online. So I think there's room to, it's a manufacturing business, and I think there's room to, one, start selling online. They haven't got an online sales presence at all. I think there's room to create new products and go searching for new customers and new product lines, and sort of just divert to new revenue streams.
Are they trying to sell it?
Yes.
And how much are they asking for it?
Well, they started asking 1.1 million, and then they dropped it to 900. And I've just had the 3 quarterly financials come through, and it looks like their revenue is only at 900. So
yeah, what's their profitability going to be?
It's looking like about 250. It's been
business might be worth 700 grand at best.
Yeah, I thought maybe $500,000.
Yeah, and they should be willing to take a note, because they don't know what they're doing and it's wearing itself out.
Yeah, and they want to get out because there's 3 of them, the father, the 2 brothers, and they all just want to go new directions. So there's room for me to potentially offer and get in.
Well, they should do a structured sale. You give them 20% down and finance it over 5 years.
Legend. Thank you.
Yeah, 100%. Awesome. And then you come over to 10X 360 immediately. I helped my buddies start. So originally I was going to buy their business for $5 million in 2002. And then when my investors told me they wanted to sell the company, I called them. I was 60 days away from closing for 5.8 million. And I told them, you guys don't want to sell to us because my board wants to sell. So they said, okay, thanks. And we became really good friends. 6 years later, they sold that business for 480 million. And then they opened a new business in Australia 6 years ago, using their own capital, not taking on any debt, using the same methods that we teach here in the US. They opened 122 new locations and just sold it for 450 million, a second bite of the apple 4 months ago. It's called Bay Audiology. It was also called Bay Audiology in New Zealand. So
I've heard of it.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Good question. All right, David from Aloha. Makes me think you're in Hawaii. Got to unmute. Unmute.
I thought I heard. Okay, thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Can hear you. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you very much. My question is, how can you take the evaluation per employee and do it either quarterly, monthly to see if you're on track?
So, I'm sorry, say that again.
The question is, how can you take your evaluation per employee and do it quarterly or monthly to see if you're on track?
Well, if your target's $250,000 of revenue per employee per year, it's $62 $2,500 a quarter of revenue per employee. Is that right? Or 60, let's see. Yeah, I think 62, 125. Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's right. 250, 125 and 125 is 250. So if it's 500,000 revenue, then it's 125 per quarter per head.
125 per quarter.
Yeah, per head. So you just take the total divided by 4. And that's your target per quarter per head.
Okay, yeah, I got that. But it's like, if you're not generating, I heard something during the conference over the week, and you guys actually said it in the Mind Master, instead of just hiring one salesperson, hire 10. And we're kind of like heading in that direction a little bit. But I feel like,
yeah,
in some
but I would say that the point is, though, you need to create an onboarding strategy. You need to have a target of $500,000 of revenue per employee. So you hire 10, you might get 3 or 4 to do it. You get rid of the other ones and you lean in the ones you have. That's why you need to create. That's why we teach an algorithm on how to finance the business. So you can afford to hire a handful of people and then get rid of the ones that are not performing and lean in the ones that are.
okay, because we're heading towards 1.2 as our projected this year, and I'm getting in more and more into the different things that is offered, and it's just interesting to look at it in a different way, because this is my 3rd business, and I get to a certain level and then it just caps off. It caps off for many years the same. So I want to put it all in and make it happen. So thank you very much.
Good. Just keep pushing. Where on the island are you?
No, we're here in Florida. My wife is from Oahu.
Well,
Yeah.
see,
But we're here in Florida. We're in Boynton Beach. So I'm able to go down to Grants, and I can go down to Miami within an hour. So
yeah, but your title should be David from Sunshine State in Baker.
thanks.
Awesome, man. Michael, how are you, man? Yeah, that's right. I'm talking to you, Michael. There he
Hello.
is. How you
Very
doing?
much. Thank you. I'm fine, thank you. My question is, what relationship and posture I have to adopt with a current contractor that will eventually become competitor if I succeed in my journey?
So ask me that again. What's the specific question?
What relationship and posture I have to adopt with a current contractor that will eventually become a competitor? And
yeah, so a competitor.
Yeah.
Just get bigger. Who cares? Everyone's going to be competing. I have friends I compete. I have friends I support, I compete with. Have a bigger picture. And then the areas that you compete, try to give them the work.
Okay.
Think so big that if you have a competitor today, you're like, hey, how can I give you this business because you're really good at it, and I'll go get something bigger, and you can be inside it. You can support a piece of it. Like if I'm like our friends that we celebrated, the Silvas, they design, build, pour the concrete, do everything for swimming pools, and they tried to give that. The concrete work to somebody else, but they kept screwing around. So they went and bought the trucks, and now they do it. Now we farm that out to our competitors. So we help. So the competitors we like that we know we do a good job, we come and have them pay us to do their concrete work. But we make money on that. That's going to be an $8 million business. We want our competitors to do a great job, and we want to support, because look, there's out of 10 people that are competing against you, you should be allied with 3 or 4 of them, and you should all work together to put the other 6 shitty ones out of business.
Okay. Okay.
So
Fine.
remember, competitors could be collaborators. Just remember that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
You got it. So Dr. G typed, I heard you say collaboration is the currency. And this weekend, I also heard you and Grant say you want control. Yeah, I want control. That way I can make sure I'm a great collaborator. I don't need to control your deal. Like I have control of Cardone Ventures. I make every decision relative to Cardone Ventures. But without my partner having a bigger company, Cardinal Ventures wouldn't be as big as it is. So I have to be a phenomenal partner. And he has control of his business. So having control doesn't mean that you screw people over. It just means that you make sure that whatever needs to happen to work, everyone's working together to make sure you do it. And most importantly, when Grant talks about control and I talk about control yourself, the best contribution I could give to my business partner is controlling the fact that I'm committed to being the best business partner he's ever had in his life. That is control. Doesn't mean I have to control him. That's never going to happen. So I want him to be the best version of himself, and you can't control him. He's a racehorse. You got to slap him on the ass once in a while and tell him that you know he can do it. Get out there, get out front and go faster, because you're drafting behind him. So you want to be supporting him. So maybe what I'm controlling is where I can help make him faster and better. But I have to be in control of where I'm contributing. So that's what that means. It doesn't mean telling other people what to do. So people that are control freaks are confused by the word control, because they think that means they have to be in charge. Being in control doesn't mean you have to be in charge. It means you have to be in control. My car drifting around a corner is technically out of control. And inertia is in charge. But what I can control is my response to that. So you got to think about that. Like, you got to control the controllable. And when you try to control the non-controllable is when you're out of control. So, all right, let's go to Jeff. Jeff, how you doing, Jeff? Can't hear you, Jeff.
There you go. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Awesome. I have a question. I have a former business partner. We're in one-on-one personal training. We were partners for 9 years. Now we've been separated for 9 years. He's looking to sell. We took the business from $800,000 a year. Now he's down to probably around 500 at best. He's losing all of his employees. Trying to come back with an offer. What we do is very specialized and niche. Nobody else would understand our style of training. So there's really not sellable for anybody else in the market. And I've asked him to come back.
What is it you do?
We do one-on-one personal training. So exercise, fitness.
Okay. And nobody would understand that.
Well, all right. We use a specialized protocol with specialized equipment that's not really understood. So we lift the weights in 10 seconds, lower them in 10. It's twice a week.
Sounds like it's not understood if his business is only $500,000.
Well, he doesn't know how to run a business. That's the problem. So
how big is your business?
1.3.
Yeah. So what are you asking? Like, how much should you pay him to get rid of him?
Correct.
Yeah. Well, I mean, $500,000 business without him is worth nothing.
Right.
So why would like he doesn't have anything to sell? That's the problem when a business is built around your personality.
Right. So he'll be, I'll basically be buying the small client list that he has plus the equipment that he has, and that's about it.
And what's the equipment worth?
Probably about 100,000.
Okay. And what do you think the client list is worth?
I mean, so I started that business with him for 9 years, and we built it. We were almost, like I said, $800,000. That could be $1 million. That could be a $1 million business.
Yeah, but most of those clients are gone because he under delivered.
True. But I had a relationship with them in the beginning. I think I can bring a lot of them back.
All right. So look, I'd pay him the asset base, and I maybe give him a kicker for goodwill, maybe another 100K, and say, I'll give you 200K or I'm gone.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I appreciate it, sir.
Yeah.
All right. I'll see you at the 360 in 2 weeks.
Look forward to it, brother. Yeah.
All right, man. Take care.
Mr. Hernandez.
Hey, Brandon.
Yeah, Josh.
How you doing? Hey, thanks for calling on me. Huge fan.
Hey, you know what? I tell you, you are one of the better looking people I've called on tonight.
I don't know about that, but
me neither.
What I wanted to say is that I'm getting a lot of DMs right now about the TBT. And for those people that are new on this show, I thought maybe you could just give kind of a brief overview of what it is. And then I know you possibly had a special offering for these people. So I just thought maybe.
Yeah. So look, so we did something that we've never done before. Grant asked, what are the 3 programs that me, Jared, Sherry, Natalie, Pete, we could all agree on that had the highest value for people that would go through those programs. And so we came up with the 10X 360 stages and boot camp, because boot camp is 3 days of how to build a business and how to manage money and align your people. And so it's $70,000 of programs, and Grant says, great, let's offer all those programs for the same price as just one 10X 360. So we made this offer at GrowthCon, and it's really only supposed to be good for GrowthCon, but Grant said, because we had 15,000 people on virtual, there's just was no way for us to explain it to everybody and to communicate it. So we decided that during this week only, this program would be honored. But it's 2 seats to 10X 360. It's a ticket to business boot camp, and it's a seat to 10X stages. And it's 12 months of Grant's mentorship program. And that includes Grant, myself, Jared, Sherry, Natalie, Todd, Pete Vargas, Alan, marketing, like it's our whole crew over the course of 12 months, 4 times a month, meeting to continue to inspire everybody and let them hear the wins and how people are crushing it. So this program is $40,000. And we also went a step further and said, we'd create, I think it's a 4-pay or a 5-pay.
Yeah.
In order to support.
I can tell you a little bit about that, Brandon. So,
yeah, go for it.
You know, what's interesting is that this is like the 10X 360 by itself is a $40,000 package. And, you know, I was there with you at GrowthCon when, you know, Grant just wanted everybody to have tremendous success in their business. So he just packaged every program up that we had to offer and included 12 months of mentorship with the entire executive team. So it's check-in, it's accountability, it's what's working, what's not, what are we measuring the impact of across the business. So made it super easy, extended the offer because it had such huge success. And like Brandon said, 20,000 people, we're still getting back to people today off the weekend. So we just want to give everybody the opportunity to get on that. So if you scan, Bryce, you might want to put that up there one more time. If you scan that QR code, what it does is it allows you to set up a meeting with the team so you can talk about it. We don't want money to stand in the way of doing business with you. So we kept it pretty easy. It's $10,000 down and then 4 payments of $7,500. So you just scan that QR code. It'll put you in touch and it'll put you on a meeting with one of our team members, and we'll give you all the information that you need and make your decision easy on you.
100%. And look, you master what's in these programs, you're gonna build a huge business. You don't yet work in a business and you're like, I just want to be able to go partner with someone that has a business you master, you're gonna go cut yourself a deal and end up being a partner in a business. Like, if you can't construct your conversation, if you can't figure out how to communicate to create value, why would a business owner want to do anything with you if you can't demonstrate to them that you can handle? So the people who are killing it, man, we featured so many owners that are absolutely killing it. Jared, I just saw Jared's like, who cares about 40 grand? I agree, dude. Like I've stroked checks for up to $1 million on the hopes I could formulate a relationship with somebody just to get their attention. Like, money is only good to the extent that it generates, regenerates, amplifies, compounds, because you're never going to save your way to a successful financial freedom life. It's not going to happen. So look, if anybody's sitting here like, yeah, look at Stormy. Someone just wrote, Jared said, look at Stormy. I just spent an hour and a half with Stormy. And we're going to blow her business up. But she put five mil straight into the Cardinal Capital. Like, she was at the same meeting I was 4 years ago. The day after GrowthCon here, before I was partners with Grant, she was at that same meeting. And like she said, she was just trying to learn about real estate. She didn't have any money. Imagine you putting yourself in a position where 4 years later, you stroke a check, hand it to Grant Cardone for $5 million to put in the fund. So, you know, it's like, if you got a $40,000 money problem, you got bigger issues. Because I asked somebody, would you spend 20? I asked them, would you spend 350,000 to make $1 million? They were like, I don't know, man, that's so much money, I can't do it. Well, then I said, then you're never going to build it, because they told me they wanted to build a $25 million business. I said, you're never going to build a $25 million business. Do you know, in order to have a $25 million a year business, you got to spend $21 million a year. Like, you guys understand that, right? Like if you can't separate from 350,000 right now, you ain't gonna be separating from $2 million a month. So like, give up your dream, go to work for somebody else and make them the money. Then I'd rather fail than build somebody else's dreams, to be honest with you. Yeah, there you go. Someone said I did the accelerator program, made 37 a year, and they made 467. That's how it is, man. And then they bought the big TBT. It's awesome, 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 Hassan. Awesome. All right, let's bring up. So what happened with Mr. Hernandez? Did we talk to him? Got distracted. Let's go. There you go. Still can't hear you. Something with your audio. I don't know why we can't hear you, dude. So you figure that out. I'll bring Jonathan up and we'll come back to you, I promise. Jonathan.
Hey, Brandon.
How you doing?
Thank you so much for being an inspiration to me. You and Grant Cardone took my business to a 3 million just by hearing you in 3 years. We spoke yesterday about it on the reception. But my question is, how can I know how much my business is worth?
Well, so it depends on what so it's a great question. It depends on what industry you're in, but we created a free tool for you. If you go to 10xbuysell.com on the website, because now we've tracked thousands of industries and we're tracking current valuations in all those industries. So if you go to 10xbuysell.com, there's a little widget on there, value my business, and you plug in the numbers it asked you to, and it'll tell you about your approximate value.
Perfect. Okay, sounds good. And thank you so much.
Are you in our TBT program, dude?
Yes, I'm all in. I was just by listening to you and Grant Cardone, I went to 3 million in 3 years by myself.
Good for you, dude. What kind of business?
This is a painting business. Yeah. And I'm looking to partner up with you guys once I get there, looking to invest all in. I want to take my business to the biggest painting company in the world, basically.
There you go, man. Let's go. Great
Let's do this.
By the way. All right, let's bring Mr. Hernandez back on, see if he figured his shit out.
Hopefully now.
There he is.
Oh my God, I don't know why. How you doing, Brandon?
Good, buddy. Good to see you.
Good. Yeah, so I have a question. What is the advice that you will have for like a startup company? I'm starting as a dealership. I'm working right now in the New England states. I'm a dealership for a manufacturer for metal structures. My plan is to expand nationwide. But how do you compete with nationwide businesses that have been doing this for years? That our struggle now is like people ask for this place to see the building in person, for financing, and we don't have any of that. So we're just like without worth trying to gain customers and fill the funnel for us.
Yeah, man. How do you do it? You win one customer at a time and you outperform them. You find out why other people aren't getting what they wanted to get from that experience, and you give it to them.
Yeah.
So
what will be like the best way to do that then? Do you have like any program specific to?
Well, you can go to my podcast, right? The Dawson Show.
Okay.
And I did a whole podcast on mentors, how to reverse engineer somebody else's business through a mentor,
Okay.
finding the right mentors, and you should listen to that podcast.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, because I heard that at the GrowthCon you said that for businesses less than 250 grand, like a good start will be Cardonu. I'm doing that right now.
Yeah, 100%, dude. 100%.
I was wondering if there is another like program.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's hard when you're on stage and you got, and we do 50 different things to slot everybody into the right thing. And when we try to do that, everyone says it sounds like we're pitching them, right? So for you, you want to go to our essentials program. So we have the accelerator program and the essentials program. The accelerator program is sales, marketing, and scaling. The essentials is people and finance.
Okay. Okay,
So
awesome.
you just go to all those, you can just simply, someone on my team put in there where he could find the essentials to register for. And really, you want to go to finance essentials because that's where we talk about how to build a business without needing capital, outside capital.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much for your advice.
Thank you, buddy. Yeah, thank you. All right, Jeff Young, how are you, man? Love the hat. Let's go, Jeff Young.
Hello. Can you hear me?
We hear you.
Doing great. Thanks, Brandon. Hey, I had a question. I'm doing the TBT, the 360. My wife and I, and had a question about the seat to the stages. Would it be beneficial for both of us to do it, or is it? I know it's just one, but what are your thoughts on that?
I would honestly, if it's me, I would invest in the second seat.
Yeah.
My team can help you do that because having both you work on your pitch, it could be a slightly different pitches, but having you guys work on it together, go through the process together, craft your communication. Look, what Stages really does, it helps you at an expert level, craft your communication.
Okay.
It's really hard to put value on communication until you get the value from the communication. Like when I went to my bankers and told them how I was going to sell my business, they said I was crazy. No one would ever pay me that kind of money. And when I got what I said I wanted, because my opening line was, "Hi, I'm Brandon Dawson. I've created a company that could add $2 billion of market value to your business, and I want 10%. Nobody said, "Oh, you're crazy. What are your numbers? Like, how are you going to add value to my company?" And now I got a free hour to pitch them on everything I did and then backed into my valuation. And if I would have went in and said, "Hi, I'm a $35 million business with $2 million of EBITDA and I want 200 million," the meeting would have been over then.
Right.
So you can't put enough value on properly communicating the opportunity in order to convert it.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy.
All right.
All right. Fee Love 1.
Can you hear me okay?
Can do.
All right. This is Jasher. So my question is, how do you decide when you're expanding a business, whether to franchise or keep everything corporate owned? We're in the food space, specifically coffee, bar. We have about 9 locations, and we have a concept that we want to expand nationwide. And so just because of my controlling nature, I kind of want to go more the corporate owned. I was in Starbucks early years, like 2001 through 2004.
How big's your 9 locations now?
Revenue wise?
Yeah.
About 5-6 million. This year we're projected about 10 million.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be even thinking of franchise or corporate stores. Now, the good news is rule of 3 means you go from 1 to 3 to 9. So you're already at 9.
Right.
I would not go beyond 9 until my 9 are all doing like 1, 1.2, 1.5.
Okay. I mean, I have different volumes. So some of them do 2 million.
Well, that's my point. That your scale is maximizing what you have. Scaling is a rapid expansion of what you can prove works.
Okay.
You've not been able to prove that you can replicate the best version of what you already have across 9. So why would you add more?
Once that happens, then what?
Then you go big.
Okay.
So have you been to the 10X 360?
No.
All right, dude, you need to right now commit to this TBD program, and you need to do it. And you're going to come home from that and you're going to understand exactly how to blow it up and what to do next.
Okay.
Because this is all IT. And the fact that I've had 3 people come to me about coffee this week. Where are you located?
In Utah.
You know, every time I think coffee's, you know, I wanted to do a coffee deal when I was 20 and I didn't do it. And I'm so mad at myself. And then I thought coffee's been done. And then Dutch Brothers pops up in Washington State where I'm from. And my kids love Dutch Brothers. I'm like, oh my God, another freaking coffee thing. And then it gets to $500 million. I'm like, now it's really done. And then BlackRock pops up and these guys are going crazy. I'm like, coffee's never going to be done. It's the only, outside alcohol, it's the only legally addictive thing that we can sell that people are absolutely insane about.
It's legal.
True.
It's legal cocaine. That's what it is.
It's what it is, dude. So look, man, I love the space. I have a coffee deal in Arizona right now. I'd love to introduce it to you to get your perspective. I've got a coffee deal here in Miami with a buddy of mine.
2 markets we want to be in as well down the road.
Yeah. So look, what you need to do is you need to come and understand kudos to you to get to 9. That's hard enough. But now you need to understand the technical aspect of scaling and the break points so that you have the right infrastructure and process in place in order to ascend through it at the maximum value. And this is what we teach. And by the way, when we reverse engineered all those businesses, one of them was the coffee business. So it is something we're very familiar with.
Okay.
Thank you.
In fact, I think Adam Rutledge might be on this. He had a bunch of coffee offices and he was a realtor and I told him to sell those and go into real. And now he's absolutely killing it. Cause you know, it's a disconnected business. It's hard to do different things. Right. So it's hard enough to do one thing well, let alone multiple things well.
Well,
so,
we have coffee is our core, but we also have a restaurant that's profitable. We have a bar that's profitable, and we're also in the yoga space. But
so all those, I mean, you could say that all but one maybe are connected, but you know, anybody coming in and doing yoga, the next thing they're going to do is get their cup of coffee afterwards.
we have one that's where they're in the same building. So
that's awesome.
That's exactly what happens.
Yeah, I trust me. I know, man. I've been around a long time. You guys should see how I can get down in yoga. Just kidding.
That's right.
I'll be the one that's drinking all the coffee. Natalie be the one doing the yoga. But hey, love an opportunity to work with you guys and love the space and you won't go wrong. So talk to our team. Let's get you on that program before. Look, you're getting $70,000 worth of programs for 40 grand. So you might as well go all in. Let's blow this thing up and go from. So the rule of 3 says you go 1, 3, 9, 27. So your next technical move when we get all the 9 optimized is 27. And that's
well, and like I said, I have some that are like doing really well, and I've just kind of learned where I want my locations to go. So 9's kind of deceptive, but I have like 3 that are extremely profitable, and I know kind of like what market I want to be in, what flows in the context of like a Dutch Brothers world and a Starbucks world. So it's like we're right there at that tipping point. We've been in this space for years. Yeah.
For you, when someone like you comes to us and you go to the 10X 360, there's 3 to 5 things you learn there that you will grow your business 30 to 50% almost immediately. And then you're going to hire us and we're going to engineer your growth model. And this is where I turn it over to the science guys. And we actually spend 6 months and we build your exact strategy based on what you just said, but we isolate what you think you know, and then we go and use data and science and engineer your strategies to 100 million so that you have an exact plan to do it. And so I'd love to introduce that to you guys and help you crush it. And maybe we could do some coffee deals together. So, awesome.
Thank you.
And how'd you guys find us? Like, did you go to GrowthCon?
I've been following.
We like Grant Cardone.
Yeah, we've been following Cardone for like years, and I've attended a couple live things over the years. Read his book, 10X. I think another book. I forget the title. And then, like I said, I just had an email today, and I was like, okay, let's. and I happened to be like right in between two things that we were doing. It was kind of into my day, and I was like, let's check it out, you know. And I didn't know who was going to be on the call, and I like that you have a lot of like acquisition, you know, exit, that whole spectrum, which is like with something I look for. You know, I want to know someone who knows how to transact, buy and sell businesses, grow concepts, exits, you know, IPO, like, you know, all that kind of stuff.
I've done it all, man. That's why I'm the old guy on the call.
That's what you need. You need the OG in your corner, you know?
Let's go. Let's go. Awesome. All right, Matthew. Matthew, how are you, Matthew?
Yeah, me too.
There we go. Thanks. And this is great. The first time, I don't even know how it got to you other than I got an email, and so I got in, and it's exciting. So one of the things came across is that in one of my businesses, I have a vein, and which is in the barter and trade, and I can barter and trade for all kinds of things. More before COVID, it's a vacation business. But I came into a company that I started trading, and I have a log cabin credit. Well, I'm going like, I'm not a contractor, okay? But I can start now where I'm at and get up to a couple $1 million of credit into the system. And I just either need a contractor to create a win-win, you know, where he can buy log cabin stuff, or an individual put up a log cabin and come in at like 20% savings or something like that. Whatever it takes to create a win-win relationship, I'm open to it, because this has been just a gift for me to get into this vein and have, you know, one phone call and I, you know, make 100 to 200,000 on it. But I couldn't take so much in credit until I had an exit strategy.
Yeah, so it has to be engineered. You know, that's people tend to wait to think exit strategies present themselves, and that is such broken thinking. You know, you got to know the trends. You got to know what's going on in the marketplace. You got to know what the best exit in your business was, so that you can engineer your business to be that. It's like, there's just so much involved with structuring your business for exit. But the reverse side of that is a lot of people don't even think about exiting until they want to exit, and they end up exiting for half of what it's worth because they screwed it up. So I like to tell people, think about the fact that you're going to exit your business every single day. When you go to work, it's setting it up for an exit. So that way you're creating maximum value, and then identify the things that allow that value to happen and do more of those. So in your particular business, you know, to answer specific questions like that, that's why we have this program, so you can go through it, so we can understand, because you understand that the value of a business isn't the what you do, it's who's doing it, how you're doing it, and the upside opportunity of what you're doing. Like, and then the leadership team you've created, the systems, the processes, the overall strategy, the investment thesis, like that all creates value, not just what you're doing. So until you understand where the person that has the business is coming from, and until they understand what creates value, it's very difficult to talk to people about how to maximize value.
Right. I mean, we were thinking of, you know, people that have land that want to put up these homes, and then, you know, it's an easy thing. I have the homes, I can deliver it to them, and, you know, we both make money on it because they have the land. They just don't have access to capital for the home.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I met with some people today. I mean, we're looking at co-investing, create a $500 million RV and mobile home locations, you know, buying and acquiring, and they've done unbelievably well in that space, huge returns. So they're one of our private equity investments that we're looking at. And so, you know, I like that space. I just think, you know, you got to be able to do it at scale, and you're doing it a little differently. You're going in building homes for them on the land using kits, basically log cabin kits, it sounds like. But, you know, I've seen that with mini homes. I've seen, you know, there's so much innovation out in that space. A lot of cool ideas. And if you have the land, you can execute on it. If you don't have the land, you got to buy the land. You're going to pay a premium for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Great.
Good question, Matthew. Nice to meet you.
Thanks, Brandon. Yeah.
Hey, this is also just a bigger lesson for everybody that's on here. You know, Grant Cardone sends out almost, I don't know, it's like 780 million emails last year. And people complain about it, but there's 2 people in a row that said, hey, we got an email and we just popped on. We didn't even know what this is about. This goes to show you why you need to be emailing your customers and your prospects all the time. Antonio, come on. Antonio, let's go.
All right. Brandon, thanks for calling on me. How you doing?
Good, buddy. You look pretty cozy there.
Yeah, I just got home, man. 14, 15 hours a day, just killing it.
I know that story, dude. I know that story.
Listen, I have so many questions, but I'm seeing you next week. I'm so excited about platform delivery. You know, I'm feeling very, very thankful. Been following you since this thing started. And, you know, I heard that word pitchy at the beginning of this thing. And quite frankly, I disagree with anybody that thought that GrowthCon was pitchy. And I understand why that's being said, but I thought it was more about a different word that starts with a P, and that's what it was proven. You know, you guys really did an amazing job, you know, really showing us what success not only feels like, but really looks like. And it was a marriage like that was so reality. I've been unpacking it all day. We haven't stopped talking about it, me and Janelle. And, you know, just to see what accountability really feels like, big stories of growth, showing up, having presence, communication, don't drop the mic, don't get away, own your space, dominate, all these things. And, you know, my friends have been asking me about my business, and it's been growing, and they truly believe it's been growing. And I've been trying to tell them that even though platform hasn't launched yet, every day listening to you and your team and your community is helping me become a better leader. And it's helping me translate the messages and transfer the knowledge that I actually was afraid of transferring all this time, all these years. And the results of that are literally 3 times growth in the first quarter of 2022, the slowest time of the year, January, February, and March. Last year, 750K in those 3 months. We're going to break 2 million in 3 days. We're going to double our business this year. And I just can't wait to launch platform. I've been struggling with a few things. We're trying to catch up on work and getting home late after just trying to figure out how to take care of 31 states by myself and trying to figure out how to hire a team now. And
yeah, dude. I mean, but so it all started for you at the 10x360, this program that I keep talking about. You know, you know what you know what you don't know, and there's 95% you don't even know you should even know it until it's probably bit you in the ass, and then you're like, damn, why didn't I know that? So you know, and your business is an example. I saw Jackie Schaefer comment on here. She was featured in our reel. But I mean, Jackie's business, you know, she had to turn over a bunch of salespeople, organize the business. It became much more profitable, bought a massive facility instead of renting, invested millions of dollars in that out of cash flow, didn't have to pull it out of debt. And now all of a sudden, you know, her business just in the Q1 is double what it was in the Q1 of last year. And so she'll make millions of dollars this year. So, you know, it's one of those things where, if you put all the pieces in place, and you do the right things, man, business is ready to blow up. That's the thing. It's ready.
Hey, by the way, I went to see Chef Pedro at Serafina, and I gave him a 10X hat. I told him to wear it next month when he's cooking for you.
That's awesome. They love us there, dude. They love us. They do such a good job for us.
Yeah, man. Definitely. We're going to bring him some samples of lobster raviolis and spinach and cheese raviolis. I ordered 7 pasta dishes. He goes, why are you eating so much pasta? I go, I got to study my competition.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. So see you next week. And
I look forward to it, man. Proud of you, brother. Bring us some pasta.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone.
Cool. All right, I'm going to do one more, and then it's because it's past the 9 o'clock hour. Appreciate all of you. Listen, if you have not yet signed up for this $70,000 program for 40 grand, you need to do it. If this is your first night, you're like, man, I didn't know anything about these guys. I just logged on because of an email. You got to understand we're helping business owners absolutely crush it. We featured them at GrowthCon, people going from 2 million to 22 million, people going from 30 million to 90 million in a year, people going from 100,000 to 4 or 5 million in a year. Look, it's all there, but you got to learn the technical aspect of how to do it. It ain't going to happen by itself. So basically, contractors, man, we love contractors. We work with $500 million of contractors across multiple verticals. And so when you learn the technical aspect of how to create massive value by growing and scaling your business, you can do it. You just, you're going to invest the most amount of money you've ever invested in something, get over it. And what you're going to do is pull 5-10 years forward, and you're going to get money working for you. And you're going to learn the technical aspect to do that. And that's what this is about. And this is a movement for us, accumulating 1 million 10X business owners who want to absolutely go out, create massive value, and crush it personally, professionally, financially, and teach others to do the same thing. So that's what this movement's about. So I'll do one more. Let's see, who do we got here? Let's see, Castle. So Jeff, you will be my last person tonight.
Hey, Brandon, how you doing?
Good. How you doing, buddy?
Great. Event this last weekend. Enjoyed meeting you and Natalie. I wanted to follow up with, I wanted to ask, what was your top 2 takeaways from the event? What was your 2 top, like, blew you away ideas that hit you?
I think more than like new ideas, I think affirming the strategy we're already doing, but hearing it from somebody that didn't know what the strategy was. So when the executive chairman for Goldman Sachs talked about a couple specific things that literally are what we're doing right now. Like that was one thing. It was like, boom, big, huge stamp of what we're doing is exactly what we should be doing. So it wasn't like a new idea. It was an affirmation with an underline. So when he came off stage, he and I spent 40 minutes talking about it, and he more than affirmed it. He wants to go to dinner. Like he was like, if this is what you're doing and you're truly based on what I've seen, let's go. And the other thing is the fact that when he was up there and he talked about no one's doing 150 million EBITDA, and we don't know who they are, because by the time people are doing 150 million, they've accessed credit lines, they've gotten bankers, and everyone's tracking all that. And the fact is that since partnering with Grant, we've taken a business that this year we'll do damn near that, and nobody knows who we are. And I'm doing that intentional because I don't want them to know who we are until I want to tell them who we are. So he was hugely impactful from that standpoint. And then obviously just the big boss, love him or hate him. When he said, man, you need enemies, we need enemies. You got to go after your enemies. Like, I think we're seeing an example of right now of trying to placate to our enemies as a country, and they're stomping all over us. So his attitude is you got to go after an enemy. And so, and to some extent you need enemies. It inspires you and motivates you to get off your ass and do something. Yep. And so I think for me, when I heard him say that, I'm like, yeah, I like to think I don't have any enemies, because I'm at such peace in my life about who I do things for and why I do them, and how committed I am. But the truth is I do have enemies. I have complacency as an enemy. Arrogance or ignorance is an enemy. There's a couple of people out there that are trying to copy what I'm doing, and they don't know what they're doing. They're an enemy. I let them go. I don't attack them. I don't even reference them. But they're doing a disfavor to people because they're trying to copy my shit and then pawn themselves off as an expert, and they're stealing their money. So really, I was thinking to myself when I heard that, I should be going and exposing those people, not just saying, oh, well, they can do whatever they want, because they're actually damaging and hurting people. And so, believe it or not, I sent 2 cease and desists out this morning. Just like, hey, I'm gonna get in these people's face, and I'm gonna make it a point, and I will discredit them on social media, and I'll call them out. See, I'd never do that before. I just let bygones be bygones. I just stuck to my thing. But then I thought about the obligation that people are getting ripped off. and they're getting secondhand or third hand stuff that from somebody that doesn't even know what they're doing.
Right.
And then they're going to hear me talk and go, man, I've heard this before and it didn't work first time because somebody stole my shit, and they're trying to say what I say, but they don't know how to do it. So like those are two things. Like it's okay to have enemies, go after them, and then validating some things that I've been telling Grant for a year and a half now that he didn't really understand, but then he heard it from stage and Grant came back. He's like, dude, man, everything you've been telling me, we've been sitting down. This is what this guy just said. I'm like, exactly. So to me, I think there was a little bit of validation and also a fire lit under my ass. And of course, every time I listen to Grant and he's like, let's get big, let's go. Like his tenacity for attack speed and not leaving anything on the table is beyond anything of anybody I've ever met. And so for me, just coming out, listening to his last talk, and I'm like, let's go. So this morning I didn't get up and go like, I'm tired. We did 4 days in masterminds. We're flying tomorrow. We delayed our flight today. I took meetings all day. We're flying tomorrow to Arizona. We have a 10X 360 that starts Thursday. I added interviews. I'm going over and doing a speech. I've got my daughter for her spring break coming out to spend time with me. And I called her and said, hey, you're going to go to these meetings with me and listen to me talk to these entrepreneurs. I might drag your ass up on stage because I filmed doing role plays with her and overcoming objections. And she's been doing that since she was 6. But the girls, I'll tell you what, there's one other thing. Both of those girls went up there and crushed their speeches.
They were great.
They have more courage than almost any adult at 9 and 12 years old or whatever. And they prepared better. They did their own talks. They crushed it. They had very specific points they were making. They composed themselves like an expert. And I'm sitting there looking at that going, if a 9 and 12-year-old, I can't remember if Sabrina's 12 or 13 now, she might be 13. But I'm sitting there looking at that thinking most adults never prepare for this. And they just keep going to work every day and they never prepare for excellence or for that moment. So I think those girls should be a huge inspiration to all of you to participate in this program and go to stages, because that's exactly what they learned to do. Get on a stage and communicate in a way where they could be impactful.
Well, it eliminates their ability to ever have public speaking be their largest fear. It just squashes that.
Oh yeah, no, I watched them speak in front of 35,000 people. So now they think it's a piece of cake.
Right.
But the point is they can do it. Every adult can do it. And if you don't feel you're confident to do that, you need to do what they did, right? You need to go through the same programs they go through. Because Grant, we all teach our kids the same stuff we teach our business owners.
Well, I agree with the enemy thing because I can tell you it hurts your brand. And so, you know, it eliminates or discounts your brand. You going after them is kind of like the Will Smith moment, but I'm going to tell you like this. I would tell you to do it anyway.
You know what? Anybody, you know, whatever. That whole Will Smith thing, somebody makes fun of my wife and a disease or something she's got, I'm going to knock the shit out of them too. So to me, like, you know,
totally agree.
I don't begrudge Will Smith. Now he probably could have handled it a little differently, but I understand why he did what he did. He didn't do it. He didn't do it for that moment. He did it to show his wife he loves her.
No doubt.
So you know, they'll make up. They'll make up. They're both getting a lot of press for it. Who knows? Half the time when that stuff happens, I feel like it was planned because it was like, let's get some attention. You know, it's
Chris
like
Rock's tickets are up from $90 $50 a ticket to $300 a ticket.
Yeah, exactly, dude. They both just went to the top of the talk list. And part of me, the way Chris Rock was leaning forward and the whole thing, I feel like half of it's contrived anyway. So, but good for them. They're if it accidentally happened or if it really happened, I mean, either way, it's right. It happened. And so what did you learn from? Get attention. Better known beats best.
That's right.
So yeah, good for them. Good for them. But you know what? Good for us, Brandon. And hey, I just wanted to point out something that you said. You said it's actually Friday, Saturday is our 10X 360. And that is going to be awesome. And if you are on here and you bought the TBT, you just need to respond to us and say, hey, I want to get a jump start. I want to go all in and I want to do it quick while I've got momentum coming out from GrowthCon. I want to get to that 360. So we still have spots left. So all you got to do is email me. You got to email me, Dawson at cardoneventures.com and say, hey, I bought the TBT and I want to go all in this weekend and keep the momentum going. Brandon, thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Have a great week.
No, it's late there.
And let's 10X everything together and hopefully take advantage of this program so we can help you guys crush it. So have a great week. We'll see you.
The whole purpose of this show is to engage with business owners and be able to answer questions for people that will give them some insight and perspective on how to grow and scale a business. Not only leadership, but real life examples. This is the golden moment. I would do business with you right now.